Hello, men. This channel is about you. It's about helping men get the help they need and so richly deserve. This introduction is a broad brush view of the support services Men's Support Network provides. But before we dig into that, please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Jason, and I'm one of you. Now, not because I'm a man, but like so many men, I've had my share of trauma and life's difficulties. Now, some of those things were, quite frankly, horrific. Other things were just damned hard to get through. And some were so subtle that not until years later did I recognize that they were not only traumatic, they also created cycles of long-term emotional and life dysfunction. However, this video is not about my struggles. That's reserved for a second video. As men, we don't often recognize the deluge or the extent of problems we face, nor do we recognize the way those problems can kind of sneak up on us. Now, through the many videos eventually posted on this channel, I'll describe the many types of services that can support men. But for now, understand there's a wide range going from life coaching, emotional counseling, focused specialized therapy for stress, anxiety, and trauma, from things like betrayal all the way to PTSD. And now that said, I do want to take a quick moment to focus on a critically important recent development in the mental health field. There are now two relatively new, clinically proven and professionally accepted, exceptionally powerful therapeutic technologies that are extraordinarily amazing in successfully treating old, even decades old emotional wounds without the need for that wah, 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 talking and literally wallowing in rehashing or reliving the horror of the memory, or repeatedly bringing up that person who got you there back in the first place. Havening techniques and EMDR. Now, both are great in person, one-on-one. However, havening is much better adapted to online live sessions, allowing you to stay in the safety and convenience of your home. Now, they both work through neuroplasticity at the very deep neurological level that all types of talk therapy simply can't reach or address. In these issues, talk therapy is kind of like putting a cast on your arm for a broken leg. Of course, some issues are absolutely best addressed through the more traditional counseling and talk therapies. This program strives to connect you with the best trained professional to address your very specific personal needs. Now, sometimes just being men naturally puts us at genuine risk. For example, over 90% of combat deaths and, of course, permanent disability are men. That follows that naturally over 90% of combat-related lifelong disabling PTSD, men. But it's not just limited to men who were in the service. Equally, over 90% of disfigurement, permanent disability, and death through industrial accidents, yet men. Also, in the unnatural, bizarre, current cultural environment, men and boys are considered unnecessary, disposable, at the least toxic, and most likely dangerous. We're all labeled as rapists. And in a considerable number of places, we're not even allowed to sit next to children. Not only are we at direct risk because we're men, culturally we're pushed into denial of that risk, damage, and devastation in our lives by our programming to be stoic, suck it up or just man up. A horrible truth in today's society is when one of us men exposes our vulnerability and reaches out for the help we need, in the at best predominantly male indifferent, or more often male hostile mental health system, we are chastised and condemned for weakness. On the other hand, women are celebrated as strong, powerful, and courageous for the exact same efforts. This channel is dedicated to you, getting you the quality, supportive, professional help you deserve. Now, this channel is not my story. However, from time to time, I will use the battles I've faced and insights gleaned from those battles in the videos to help us, you and I, understand the situations many of us face. Now, I'm not alone. It works the same for all of us in these kind of tight spots. It would have been easier to get through them, or at the least, far less depressing if I'd had the proper help that I didn't know to ask for and didn't have the first idea of where to go when I finally did understand how my life would have been better for getting that help. I've posted a separate video on how my life's journey has uniquely prepared me with the insights of the traumas and prejudice that so many of us men have faced and continue to face. Now, I'm sure many of you have suffered far more and far worse things than I have. But really, the issue is not who's had it worse, just recognizing that you have a specific need for help and getting that supportive professional help for your need right now is our priority. Men heal differently than women. I repeat, men heal differently than women. A serious lack of understanding those differences, combined with the severe lack of focused male-oriented empathy and support in the mental health system, make the system a virtual minefield for the lone man searching for help. Conversely, I've experienced and witnessed the amazing power of men helping men. The practitioners connected with this program are all men. Also, all of the practitioners have all been vetted. Each and every one of them genuinely understands and are supportive of the unique difficulties men face in life, to include dealing with the often absurdly damaging, unfair practices of today's unbalanced, unsympathetic, and even hostile cultural situation and gynocentric legal system men in the West are faced with. My commitment to you is I will work as your advocate to assist you in finding the support you want and need. If you're a man interested in reaching out for help, please contact me via my website or the email address below in the description. If you are a male mental health professional interested in working with men who want your services, please contact me via my website or the email address in the description below. I look forward to serving you however I can. Thank you for watching.